you want to get more clients and you want to make your existing clients happier, then we need to start thinking about the 4 key factories inside of our business. In a recent interview, which I'll link up below, I interviewed Brad Martin from 6th Division, and he talks about this concept of the client journey, which we've all heard before. And I want to kind of dissect a few things that you need to think about to really start to think of your business like a factory. And Brad calls them the 4 factories that you need. And fundamentally, each service and or product line that you have needs its own client journey. And so let's talk about the 4 factories and how you need to start thinking about the systemization. So over here, which we're not really going to cover today, is the eyeball efforts. The eyeball efforts is what you're doing to draw the attraction. Yes, there are systems to do this. You might use outbound, you might use paid, you might use YouTube videos like this. These are the eyeball efforts. How are you going out in front of people to get them to come to you? Which, when we get them to come to us, the first factory is really the leads factory. And so this is where we focus on the acquiring the leads. Now, common lead factories look like webinars, VSL. You have, and I'll put it in lead factory, but you can also consider it in the client factory, but low ticket products, because fundamentally the real reason people do those is to get free leads. This might be, PDFs or free books, whatever your lead capture system is. This is what captures the lead and then is encouraging them to come out the other side and become a prospect, which is the second factory. And this is your prospect factory, which is really your sales system. So we sell over the phone. Most service providers do. So we have what we call the consultation engine. And the consultation engine is a repeatable system that every single prospect goes through, from the page they land on where they decide to schedule a call with us, to the confirmation page, the content that they're going to consume, the emails that they get between when they booked and when they show up to the call, is all choreographed, systemized, and repeatable. And no matter what the lead factory looks like, if you eventually have, say, we'll do a VSL, but you might come out with a PDF that is attracting a different type of lead, it still probably funnels and most likely will funnel into the same prospect factory. And so you might build out a couple different ways to acquire leads, but each one of these factories, if you will, and I'll highlight here in red, is a systematic, repeatable experience that moves people from the lead capture all the way through to encouraging them to book the call, in which case they enter the prospect factory. So first factory is our lead factory. Second factory is the prospect factory. The next one that we'll talk about is the nurture factory, because not every lead is going to book a call and not every prospect is going to become a client. So people will drop down into your nurture factory, and also people from your nurture factory will opt back into different stuff and decide to finally book a call. And so this goes both ways. And this is all, your email marketing. Maybe you have a Facebook group. Maybe you have a private community off one of the common social platforms. Typically, SMS or messenger chat is another form of nurture. So we usually see nurture as group, email, and I'll say phone, SMS, or chat. Those are kind of the key ingredients of a nurture factory. And then the last factory we have is the client factory. Now, each program and or service offering that you have are flagship program is called Academy. That's going to have its own factory. Every single client that comes into Academy is going to move through a similar onboarding experience from the moment they pay to the moment they have their kickoff call. That doesn't mean that I don't want you to take the factory example too literally, because I think a lot of people hear factory and they think of, well, there's no customization. If you've ever been inside a factory, there's a lot of customization that happens inside of factories. The process in which they develop the products is very systematic and repeatable and can go over and over and over again and stays the same no matter what. So that's the key piece. Each product service line that you have is going to likely have each of these factories. Like, you're going to want to nurture people that come in interested for your flagship service, in this case, ours Academy, and nurture those people a certain way with certain messaging, trying to get them to come back from nurture back into booking a call to eventually sign up for our flagship service. Now, if you had another service, and we'll just call this, number 2, you're probably going to have different PDFs and different lead factories. You might, depending upon what the service looks like, maybe it's not a service, maybe it's a course, the prospect factory might look different. And so the key point here is that no matter what you're selling, there are 4 key factories that you need to build, systematize, leverage technology, and also likely insert certain people, certain roles from your team to help make sure these factories run smoothly, right? The prospect factory will eventually have someone else as the sales rep. You might have a sales development representative, or some people call them setters. Like, there might be 2 different roles that operate and man the prospect factory. Just like you might have a media buyer or a copywriter that create a lot of the assets for the leads factories, right? And in your core service 1, you might have certain roles like account executive or coaches. And down here, you might have different types of people that are required to run and manage and sustain that factory. And I really like to start thinking about this from the perspective of, if you are an agency owner, a consulting firm, expert service provider, what have you, starting to think of the way in which you do each of these things: capture leads and convert leads into prospects, then convert prospects into clients, onboard, on-ramp, and prepare and support clients, and then just nurture the people that haven't become clients yet. Those are 4 key systems that, whether you are building a high 6-figure business or a multiple 7-figure and even 8-figure business, you will have these systems or factories inside of your business for the different service lines. Now, a few reminders. Each product and or service line will require 1 client journey, meaning that 1 straight line from left to right, there needs to be a client journey per service line. The second thing is that the nurture factory is there to take leads that haven't converted into prospects and help encourage them to convert to prospects, stay top of mind. And then also take people that you've already spoken to that haven't converted yet and encourage them to come back and have a conversation. Maybe they're not ready for your service now, but they said they're going to be ready in like 60 to 90 days. And now your nurture engine plus your sales team is going to work to bring that prospect back into play down the line. And there's a few key areas of the client factory that I'm not going to dive into in this video, but in the description, I talk about onboarding. So those are the 4 key factories. As a service provider, you can think of, I'm building out each of these factories to help move people from eyeball efforts, my content, my paid ads, my acquisition content, all the way through to a happy client. You're going to start to think about your business more like a machine, and it's going to identify key people that you need to help run the machine, and maybe some things that you realize you're doing over and over and over again that can harness technology to make it more efficient. So I hope you found this useful. If you are looking to install these factories in your business around your core capabilities, then I want to actually invite you to book a call with us. If you're doing over $10,000 a month in revenue and you have some expertise and you've gotten clients results, we can help you package up that expertise and start building out some of these factories with you. We would love to chat. Again, if you're doing already over 10K a month, go ahead, book a call below. Otherwise, check out some of the other recommended videos like this one right here.